Dave, and here we go.
So first question is basically 5 minutes. Why Jesus?
Why not Jesus? That's a better question, I'd like to say. But at the same time, Jesus, pure love, pure sacrifice, pure everything, came into this world, like totally just came into this world, knew what he had to do, knew what he had to go through, and still did it. Like how, like I was saying earlier, like how I can't even wrap my head around that. Somebody sent here to go through all of that to save all of us because he loved us that much. That just I can't wrap my head around that. Still to this day, it's the most beautiful thing ever. Jesus, pure love, pure joy, pure light. Being the best person you can, like everlasting life, like unending life. Like it is amazing to me. Like it's seriously amazing to me. Like I want to aspire to like be that good of a person. I'm always gonna fall short of that glory, but man, ultimate self-sacrifice just because of pure love. How can you go wrong? How can you seriously go wrong?
So people say Jesus saves, right? How did Jesus save you?
It took me a while to finally accept the fact that I was being called for a really long time. I shouldn't be dead. I've been dead actually a couple times. I've been in some pretty crazy car accidents. I've been shot at multiple times. And you got to take a step back and look and go, wow, okay, I'm still here. Why am I still here? And then I was explaining earlier, like this dream that I had that fully changed me. The dream of everybody I knew was hanging out on this patio, like this rooftop, hanging out, and it was kind of in my darker days when I was not really, it was kind of like, I don't believe, blah, 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 I kind of do, but I don't, I'm scared of it, and, just hanging out with bad elements, just being stupid, being a kid, being stupid, and that dream, like, everybody was there, it was a big old party, blah, 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 and somebody in the dream was like, blah, 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 screw God. The nice way to put it. And I was like, I probably shouldn't say that. In real life, like, that kind of weirded me out, like, even in the dream, because I was like, normally I wouldn't have cared if somebody said that. And then all of a sudden I see, like, this flash across on another building, and it was like, ooh, just the utter butterflies, like, wow. So, of course, a dream. I have magic binoculars. I'm like, oh look and see what it is. And it flashes again, and it's Jesus over there staring at me, staring back at me. And my scale of butterflies went from 1 to 47 after that. Like, it just was like overload. And I couldn't handle it. It was like, what just happened? And then I look up one more time. And it's him again, just smiling. And I woke up right from that, and I still had that feeling, that crazy feeling going on. And I knew at that moment that I needed to change. It still took me a really long time to accept what I needed to do and accept what my calling was, but I knew right then and there that was the moment he chose me. Like, I should have known that forever, but that was the definitive moment for me to know that he wants me.
So when you say that you were called or chosen, for those that don't understand that, like, what do you mean you were called or chosen, or that he wants you?
It's kind of hard to, in a way, to explain. Like, being called, like, I don't want to say like apostle, because that to me that's like, oh, and nothing like that, but like, just spreading the word, getting people involved, getting people to understand the pure glory, the pure love, the pure light that comes with Jesus, everything that comes with it, like spreading that word, spreading that gospel, getting people into their Bibles, just mildly implanting that little seed in their brain that'll make them even do that research themselves. And then when they have questions, they come to you, and you may not be prepared, because I don't think anybody really ever is prepared to be this person. But when it happens, like, it's God and Jesus like flow through you and give you that right answer and spread that to that person, exactly what they need to hear. So
are you a Christian?
Very much so.
Do you have tattoos?
Sure do.
Do you smoke?
Yeah. Yes, I do. In fact, I need to relight it. I'm sorry.
Do you drink?
Occasionally.
Does that make you not a Christian?
No, absolutely not.
Does Jesus love you any less?
No. I don't understand how people can think that way. Jesus loves you no matter what. Like, you are on this planet. You are here. You were born. You were given the most amazing gift ever. Life. Because somebody loved you. Jesus, God loved you so much that they created us. He created us to be here. He gave us the most beautiful, perfect gift that anyone could ever receive in life. And it just, that's still kind of, I can't understand that. That still is like, that gift is just amazing to me. And I'm worthy, but I'm not worthy enough. But because we're man and we fall short, and I'm always going to do my best to prove my worth. I shouldn't say prove my worth, but show my love back. That's the best way to put it. Show my love back. But at the same time, we shouldn't be judging anybody. Nobody should be judging anybody. Like I said, God gave us this gift. We are here on this earth. We are created in God's image. We are all perfect. We are all beautiful. Of course, we all have our problems. That's all in our head. But at the same time, once we understand that we are all just perfect, we're all amazing, we're all beautiful, people will start to see that light, and their joy and everything will start to open up. Their hearts will open up. Everything. Once you let that hate go, get rid of hate, get rid of fear, get rid of judging people. Because you can't judge somebody by what's going on the outside. You just can't do it. You can't judge somebody by the way they look. You have to know what's in here. You have to get to know the person. You gotta let that fear of getting to know somebody, you have to let go of that. Even if they're the scariest looking dude on the planet, you never know. That might be the best person you've ever met in your life. But are you going to shun yourself away from them because you're afraid of them, to judge them? And you're judging them like you don't know how much you don't know what this person's been through. You don't know how much this person loves Jesus or does anything like that. You can't judge it. You can't judge it. That's one thing that we need to start learning, is we can't judge it. That is not our job.
So, what do you think, if you had sum up in one or just a few words, what's the message of Jesus? What's the point? What did he come down here for? He freed us. You said that already.
Oh yeah, he took all the sin from the past, the future, everything. He took it all from us into him. And still, like I said, my head goes spirals in this one, because this is just crazy, knowing what, going through and knowing what you had to do and then doing it. It's just crazy to me. But the message of Jesus, like, what is Jesus to me? Jesus is pure love. Came down to save all of us. Wow. Just to save all of us, to like wipe that away. Like, I hate to say it, like the way we say it, it's almost kind of like you got this prepaid card. But that is not an excuse. That is not an excuse to go be stupid. But what I'm saying is, we are man, we are fallible. We are going to fall short of the glory of God. But what do? Do you sit there and cry about it? Do you sit there on your knees and cry about it? You got a scraped boo-boo on your knee? Or do you stand up, brush yourself off, and go, well, that sucks, I'm not going to do that anymore, and move forward? You know, he gave us that. He gave us that. How amazing is that? He came down out of pure love, saved us, because out of pure love, took all that on so that we can live our lives and show our love back, you know, and help preach the gospel and spread the gospel and everything like that, and, you know, work our way up. Like, how amazing is that? That's amazing to me.
So, would you say that most people have a problem with church?
I think there's a huge stigma on church, with church, and it kind of sucks because I like church. I love church. Like, but the one big thing with church is, like, a lot of people go there. They don't know a lot. They don't know. Maybe you don't know anybody. You go there, you get your feel goods for a day, and then you worry about the rest of the week. It starts going back into the, oh crap, tomorrow's Monday, I gotta go to work, and you forget about everything of that day. You know, you have your one feel good day, and then you just go forward, and then you have your one more feel good day, like every Sunday, whatever. And I think that a lot of people, like I was saying earlier, like, the outside people judge the exterior, and I think that makes it hard for a lot of people to go to church too, on top of that. But what church really is it's family. Church is family. Like, that's one huge thing that we've grown with. It's like, church is family. We know everybody's names. We know their life stories. We know that at a drop of the hat, like, one of us could call each other and somebody would be there for each other. You know, how amazing is that? Church to me is even just like, say, like 3 of us meeting at a coffee shop, diving into our Bibles, talking about Jesus, doing that. That's church. Church can be anywhere. It doesn't have to be in the confines of this building or that building or this special place or this special place. Although I do believe that going to church is good. Don't get me wrong. Go to church. Go to church. But church can be anywhere. You know, we need to remember that. Church is literally family. Even if you go to a bigger church, start to get to know people. Start talking to people. Start genuinely caring. You know, obviously, like, your relationship with God is your relationship. Don't let somebody dictate to you how your relationship with God goes. But get to know somebody. You know, get to know the people around you. It makes it so much better. It makes the experience so much more amazing. And that love you feel from going to church, that love that comes from God, from Jesus, that you start to feel, you can express it with the others that go there. You can express it with everybody else, and everybody else starts to grow, and you can rely on each other and count on each other. And that love just, it's like this infinite spread that starts to happen once you do that. It's church good. Trust me, church good.
So do you think that, for the most part, that church fails people because it's led by man, or because people are coming to just consume and not realize that the church needs them just as much as they need the church?
I think there's a lot of factors. Like I said, I love church, but when I go by myself, I still kind of just like, which kind of, I hate that. But yeah, definitely, like I said before, man is fallible. We fail. We are gonna screw up. We're good at that. We're humans. We're great at screwing up. And a lot of times, a lot of churches, like, they'll forget what the actual meaning, like, what they're actually there for, and becomes a little bit more self-absorbed instead of, like, being selfless. Like, that's one thing that I hate when that happens, is they think that it's almost like idolatry. They become what they get the worship, not who's supposed to get the worship, and then that, I'm not saying this is with everybody. It's not often, but like they get the power in them. They get that internal like, well, I'm the guy, and then they're not really the guy, and they fall. That's why a lot of churches fall, and a lot of people stop going, and that sucks. We are men. We are fallible. We're gonna screw up. We need to remember what the ultimate message is, and not take that as like, oh, hey, I'm this great and holy person. It's cool that you're leading the congregation. That's awesome that Jesus comes through you and talks through you and spreads that message to everybody else. But you got to remember, it's not necessarily always you saying that.
So would you say that the pastor is holier than you?
No, absolutely not.
Is he closer to God than you?
No, absolutely not. Like I said, it's each person's relationship with God is completely different. It as weird as, I don't know how to describe this person, but like it's different with each person. Each person has different things that they're destined to be doing and everything like that. That doesn't mean that one's greater than the other. It doesn't mean that one's less than the other. We are all perfectly equal. We are all here for the same reason. We are all created equal. Like God created us, we're perfect. Awesome. Can't get any better than that. Shut up, you're not better than me, I'm not better than you, vice versa. You're perfect. Stop it. Start getting on your high horse about how you think you're better than somebody else. Stop. You're not. I'm definitely not. I'm a screw up. You know what I mean? I've got my faults, I've got my problems, I've got everything else. Am I going to boast that I'm somebody better than somebody else? No, never. In fact, in all honesty, I find myself thinking that I'm a lot less than others, but at the same time, I don't know how to describe it, but anyway. It's not a self-confidence issue. It's more like I see so much greatness in all these people. I see so many things in everybody else. And it's not a jealousy thing. I just want them to recognize it because I see their potential. And I'm like, I want that potential. But then again, I've got to realize that, oh, I've got this. Maybe, we're all intertwined in the way that we've all got these strengths, we've all got these weaknesses, and when we come together, that huge chain of strengthness, we fill each other's gaps. It's amazing. And we need to start remembering that, one, yeah, you can be strong, but when you've got this army with all these different strengths, different gifts, everything like that, oh man, it's an unstoppable force. And you've got like the ultimate leader.
So would you agree with the statement that every good leader is first a devout and great follower?
Well, I would believe that you kind of have to be. You know what I mean? Like, you have to be that leader, like, in a way. I don't think that anybody ever actually wants to be the leader. That's just what ends up happening. Like, it's...
What about those that do want to be a leader?
If they want to be a leader, they're crazy. Like, I'm just throwing this out there. Because it's not, there's so much that comes with it. And a lot of people that want to be that leader end up falling short a lot of times, is the way I hate to say that, but I see that a lot. When you want to be that leader, that strength, that rock, that everything else, you better be prepared to take on everything. Not just your crap. You need to be, literally, when you become that leader, you're not really a leader. You're subservient to everybody else around you. You got to remember that. You're not, I hate to downgrade your leadership, but at the same time, you end up being subservient to everybody else, because everybody else is coming to you with their problems and everything like that. You've got to do your best to help them do everything like that and everything like that. Even in the middle of the night when you don't want, and you're like, oh, I'm sleeping, and you get that phone call, you answer that phone call. You got to remember to do that. And yeah, it's crazy. Like, if you want to be a leader, like I said, when you get called to be that leader, it's a different story, because it's the scariest dang thing on the planet. But then when it happens, and you can't do anything about it. That's what you can do.
So, since you've been a Christian, have you, this is a two-part question. One, a lot of people won't say they're Christian because they don't want to be associated with other Christians. So I want to know your thoughts on that. And then secondly, have you been persecuted?
Okay. I'm going to be a little blunt. I'm going to use some stronger language here for just a second. Like, a Christian that's afraid to say he's Christian because of other Christians is a chicken shit. I'm sorry, if you have faith and you believe in your faith and you believe in Jesus, what are you hiding from? Why hide? Quit, like I said, quit being a chicken shit. If you believe, why deny? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. If you're Christian, you're Christian. Be proud of being a Christian. Don't sell out because you're like, oh, well, he smells funny or he preaches too strong. No. Be a Christian. Be proud of it. Stand up for your beliefs. Show how much you love what you believe in. Or why even believe? Like, what's the point? If you're just gonna, like, hide it, you know, and, like, because it's unpopular or something like that, what are you doing?
So can you be a Christian and not show your belief?
I think you can, but doesn't make any sense to me. You know, it doesn't make any sense to me. Why hide it?
What does Christian mean to you?
To me, Christian means ultimate love, ultimate sacrifice, ultimate, you know, just forgiving. And it's you know, being the ultimate, like, being subservient to everybody else, helping everybody else out. Don't be judging, you know, don't be judgmental. If somebody's down, pick them up, help somebody else out. You know, there's so much that goes around it. It's like just being that one, I don't know how to describe this any better, but when you finally, you know, bow down, kneel down, get on your knees and accept that you are a Christian and all that love comes into you, how can you not spread that love to everybody else?
So would you agree with, and I'm paraphrasing here, what Paul says, that the greatest among you will be the least among you, the least in stature, that will be the greatest.
Yeah.
So, as far as, since you've taken on that title, because it's a personal walk, right? Doesn't matter about everybody else. It means you're following Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been persecuted?
Forgot about that part of the question, sorry. Yeah. Just slightly. On a daily basis, almost, actually. It's, you always get it. But why let it get to you? Why let somebody's persecution get to you because of their insecurities? That's the sad thing. But what do? Do you sit there and continue to let them persecute you, or do you try to show and try to let them see the true beauty and glory of Christ? Like, help them understand, because 9 times out of 10 when somebody's persecuting you, it's because they're afraid of the idea themselves. It's kind of like that bully that picks on everybody else because he's bullied by somebody else at the same time. Like, show them, like, that it doesn't bother you. Show them love. Show them empathy. Show them forgiveness. Show them the path of Jesus. Talk to them about it. But let it brush off your shoulders. It's gonna happen all the time. Don't let it get to you. Just okay. You can't get mad over it. It's gonna happen.
Since you've been a Christian,
sorry, I was gonna say you can't let it ruin you.
Since you've been a Christian, is hopelessness a part of your vocabulary anymore?
No.
How come?
No, because, like, I always have hope. I always have hope for something greater now. Now that I have Jesus in my life, like, how can you be hopeless when you have the most amazing thing on your side? Like, that just... I have hope for a better day. I have hope for even just this one person, you know, seeing that one little tidbit that completely changes their mind. I have hope for a better world, a hope for everything. Like, nothing is hopeless anymore. That's an old mind, friend. That's an old mindset. Like I was saying earlier, like I said earlier when we were talking earlier, that it's like once you fully see and surrender, you get that new set of eyes. You see the world completely different, and your heart grows 30, 40 times. I don't see how you can be hopeless when you see so much beauty and so much love and feel so much love. And you just want to spread that joy with everybody.
Now, what about before? Before you were a Christian, did you fear death?
100% all the time. Like I said, I've been dead technically a couple times, and it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird, and you know, I definitely did. Like, I totally feared death, and which is weird to me to fear it. You know, like, I mean, obviously, I think I feared more the pain and, you know, not being able to see my family or my friends or anything like that anymore, which just isn't the case. Like, if I were to die today, like, how amazing would it be to be hanging out with JC upstairs? Like, that would be awesome. Sorry for the jokes, I have a bad sense of humor. But, like, seriously, like, how awesome would that be? Like, that does not scare me anymore. There's no fear in it to me.
So what do you do now when you have doubt, when you have fear or a bad day or something creeps in? Like, if you get depression or worry?
And just, everybody, if you don't know me, I do suffer from depression. I do have bipolar and I do have PTSD, so I do have to throw that out there. So it affects me a lot. And I do get attacked a lot. And one of the biggest things that I do, and I think that anybody should do, is A, pray. B, actually, let me rephrase that. A, grab your Bible. Start reading from your Bible. B, pray. Biggest thing. Answer book, question book, everything. It helps you with everything.
So, let's go back to that. What depression, what is that like?
Depression?
What is it like before Jesus and after?
It's kind of, like, to me, it's kind of weird. Like, before it was like depression, like, oh, I'm so lonely, oh, I'm so sad, oh, blah, 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 poor me, gothic emo paint, blah, blah, blah. But now, like, if I get depressed, it's just because I'm not with Jesus. Like, and I can say those things because I have depression, so you can't be mad.
Gothic emo paint?
Paint, yeah. Pretty eyeliner. But, no, now it's like more like if I get depressed or like I don't feel lonely anymore. I'm never lonely anymore. It's more like my depression's turned into more like a, damn it, I'm not with JC yet. One day. I'm always with JC, don't get me wrong. I'm always with Jesus. Always with Jesus.
Explain
Jesus is
that.
always with me.
Explain that. What do you mean that Jesus is, for those that don't understand this, what do you mean Jesus is always with you?
He's always, like, it's kind of hard to describe because he's always with me. Once you make that choice, once you ask for that forgiveness, once you get down and become completely subservient to the Lord, like, he's always got his hand on your shoulder. He's always with you. He's always guiding you, always protecting you, always leading you in the right direction. Like we've always said, like, it's one of those things, like, do you sit there and complain, like, I like your analogy for this, do you sit there and complain about, like, I've got this broken arm, and you've got a doctor sitting next to you the whole time, and he's like, the doctor right here, I'll help you out, doc. And you're like, no, but it really hurts, blah, 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 blah. Check him out, I'll help you out, it's weird, it's right there. I know, but man, it hurts, I don't know what to do. To the doctor. Sorry, angry face. It's that, he's always there. I know I make silly references, I'm sorry.
That's awesome. So what would you say, okay, so Curbside, briefly, what is Curbside?
Curbside, to me, what is Curbside? It's a group that we created to get people into Christ, into Jesus. Like, to bring those that had questions, had quandaries, didn't necessarily believe, like atheists, anybody, come in, questions, and help grow, and help feed that desire, that wanting of knowledge and everything for them to come. You know, just start believing, start seeing it, start getting their path, their relationship with God.
So, is there a leader in Curbside?
I don't. Well, you but in a way, no. Like, everybody is a leader in Curbside. The one leader in Curbside, though, the man upstairs, Jesus. He's the true leader.
When we first started talking about Curbside, do you remember this day? We're sitting out here at the coffee shop, and we're saying, man, this needs to happen for these people, but we just don't know enough.
Yeah, I mean, that's the crazy thing. We'll never know enough, I don't think, but
looking back at that day and seeing how many people have changed, how many lives have changed now, what do you think of what we thought back then, that we didn't know enough and we weren't good enough?
I think that we were just scared to take on what we were being called for, like what was going to happen. I think it was legitimately like, it's the whole like, I don't want to do this, I don't want to. Not in like a bad way. Don't get me wrong. It's not like I didn't want to do it, but at the same time, it was more like that's a huge thing to take on, and never knowing if you're gonna have the right answer for somebody or whatever. But you know that's gone because like that answer, even if you don't know what the answer is, God comes through you and speaks through you and gives you that right answer for that person at the right time. It's crazy how it always happens.
So for those people that feel that call, like God is saying, I want you to do this, and they feel like they don't know enough, what would you say?
Do it. Don't be scared. Let go of that fear. Just do it. Because you can't... No more living lives of what ifs. You know, like, why live a life of what if? What... Or, you know... Well, I could have. Just do. Do. Be a doer. Do it. If you're being called, quit ignoring it. Quit being a Dave. Quit ignoring it. I did it for a long time. Stop. Don't be dumb. Do it. Go. Just move forward. Go with it. The answers will come to you. Study. Dig into your Bible. Pray. Everything. It'll come.
So for those that are on the fence, either they can't understand God because they can't wrap their brain around Him, or they see other Christians and they're hypocrites, or it seems like it's an insider's club or clique and they don't want to even look at it or take part because of whatever reason it may be. Maybe somebody's lifting this pastor up on a pedestal and that pastor is falling short because he's a man. All these reasons, what would you say to them?
Well, A, we're all men, we're all fallible, it's all going to happen, first off. We all fall short of the glory of God, that's just a given. Like, you're never going to be perfect. I mean, in that way, you are perfect, blah, 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 created in God's image, but we're still man, we're going to sin, we're going to fall short. But, I don't know how to describe this better than putting it, like, there's always somebody that's going to ruin it for somebody, and that's what sucks. But at the same time, like, you need to open your heart and ask those people these questions. Well, like, what's going on? What questions do you have? What strays you away? What keeps you away from that? This isn't a social club. This isn't, like I was saying earlier, social clubs are like, oh, hey, let's go have dinner and meet up and talk about how many nice things we have and how special my kid is compared to your kid, and then go home and talk smack on each other, like, later. Like, social club's dumb. It's not a clique either. Like, this is not a clique. Like, it's not about us. It's about God. It's about Jesus. You know, you can't have a clique when it's about that. Like, come talk. Or you know, even if, like, we see somebody that's staring, we'll just be like, hey, come here. You know, like, let go of that fear. Like, come see and come experience and come try to understand that pure love, that pure light, that pure amazingness that comes with accepting Jesus into your heart. You know, like, and a lot of the times, like, people are too judgmental. Like I was saying earlier, you got to get rid of that judgmental mentality. You can't judge people because you never know what's going on with them. You never know what their heart truly is or where their heart truly lies. They could look like a straight up, got prison tattoos everywhere. Who cares? If they're a good person, they're a good person. Quit judging the exterior and get to know the interior. See how amazing that person really is and can be. I'm going to use Bill and Ted here for a second, because it's awesome. It's my favorite line of any movie. Be excellent to each other. Like, you can't... Judging people just on the way somebody looks is... boggles... Like, I used to do that. I used to be that guy. I'm like, blah, blah, blah. Now it's like I said, once you get that new set of eyes, you can't do that. You don't look at somebody and go like, oh, I bet he did this. You go like, I see the potential in this person in that way now. It's like you just see people in a completely different light. You know, and for somebody to sit there and judge somebody else, like, based on religion, you know, like, say, like, if a Christian judges me for being, you know, for smoking or drinking, what are you doing? You're doing exactly what you're not supposed to do. You're not supposed to judge, man. Like, it doesn't mean just because I smoke a cigarette means that I don't believe in God any less than you. You know, you're not better than me because you don't smoke, or this, or anything like that. We're all on the same playing field. We're all on the same team. Quit being dumb. We're all on the same team. Simple answer.
Okay, so last two questions. One, what would the new Dave, the saved Dave, as you put it, say to the Dave before? The Dave before you met Jesus? What would you say to your younger self before you found God, if you had the chance?
I don't know if I'd say anything. I'd just go slap myself. I'm just joking, no. I've thought about this too, which is crazy. Like, I would sit myself down and say, what are you doing? Like, look what this is doing to you. Look how much damage this is doing to your soul. Look what this is going to cause you in the future. Look at all the pain and all the strife and all these things that you're going through that you don't have to go through. Like, that loneliness that you feel, that emptiness that you feel, very easily fixed. That emptiness can go from completely full to completely overflowing. You know, that little hole in your chest, that God-shaped hole, will be filled right away. You'll never be lonely. You'll never be lost. Anything like that, you know, like, I'd slap myself again too after that, just to wake myself up, to like make myself go, okay, I get it. But, you know, truly, like, I don't think I had somebody truly sit down and explain how amazing it really was to me. And if I could go back in time and do that, man, I'd just tell myself, like, how amazing it is. But then again, I gotta look at it and go, well, I wouldn't be where I am now if I had done that. It's kind of a weird little thing. Like, I think that I had to go through all that. I had to go through all that trouble, all that strife, all that pain, all that anguish, for me personally, to get to where I am, to become what I am, to have that total openness to understand. I think I had to go through all that to understand, so I can relate with other people and understand what they're going through and help them with what they need to go through and everything like that. It's nothing for personal satisfaction or personal anything like that. It's if you can relate to somebody and you can help them get through the times, that's for them. That's not for me. That's totally for them.
So, last question. If Jesus were here in front of you now, right? Like, if you got, if you had a paragraph or so to say to Jesus, what would you say to him?
Wow, this is a pretty crazy question. Thank you. That was a hard one. It's more along the lines of, you know, like, I'm sorry it took so long for me to see what you wanted me to see for all these years. You know, thank you for this gift you've given me that I don't feel that I'm worthy of, but I am worthy of because you gave it to me first off. And I'm totally gonna do my best every day to honor you, to show my complete and total love for you, to help everybody see how much you love them. Help them see what it really, how much you love them, what you came here to do and what you did, and just grow and help them grow and help them understand, and then help others and grow. Like, I can't thank you. I wouldn't be able to thank you enough. Like, I couldn't thank you enough for giving me this gift that you've given me. And that is A, the gift of life, and B, saving me. Like, I can't. Sorry, I'm kind of at a loss for words because I'm not, like, in a good way. But it's hard for me to really sit down and say, I couldn't thank somebody enough for that. And I don't know if I could express enough gratitude or anything. That's just the most amazing thing that anybody can do for anything. For how many people? Wow. Thank you.
Is there anything else that you want to say to anybody out there?
Quit. A couple things. Like I said, get rid of the fear. Get rid of your hate. Get rid of your anger. Get rid of all of that. Don't be judgmental. Like I said, you don't know what somebody's going through or who they really are inside. If you're just judging somebody just based on what they look like, you've got it wrong. You've got it wrong. You've got to let that go. Don't be afraid to talk to that person if you see somebody down. Don't be afraid to go over there and talk to them. Lift their spirits. Do these things. Don't be afraid to call yourself a Christian if you're a Christian. Don't be afraid if you have, like, questions or thoughts. If you're not a Christian, come talk to someone. Come talk to one of us. Don't be afraid to read the Bible. It's not going to burn you up or anything like that. It's not. It's a good book, I promise. Don't be afraid. Let that fear go. Like, open up. Open up. Let the light come in. Let that hole be filled. Let Jesus enter you. And just go from there, man. It's amazing. You'll never go back.